I've just done my first track day, and I think it was also the first track day for Bo, my Ducati SuperSport. We had a blast. If you're considering trying a track day, stick around for a few minutes. Maybe my experience might help to demystify a little bit about how it works for you and help you see just how much fun it is, no matter how fast you can go or how far you can lean. Well, today is my first track day on this Ducati SuperSport. I'm pretty excited. I thought I'd be more nervous, but I feel pretty well prepared. I've also got another SuperSport buddy who is doing this track day with me, which just makes it more fun. So if you want to, come along for the experience. Like I said, I didn't do this track day alone, and I was prepared to though, but one of my riding buddies, also on a SuperSport 950, decided to do it with me, and that really did make it heaps more fun. So this is my friend Alethea. She's also on a Ducati 950 SuperSport. Hi Alethea.
Hello, how are you?
And it's...
Gosh, you destroyed it.
It's my first track day too, and I'm looking forward to it.
And we get to hang out with Brett, our mechanic, who kindly offered and created a Ducati bay for us. So how much easier could our first track day really be?
Yeah, from Brett from Moto Garage is awesome.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you through the day. Of course, a track day requires a race license and an entry into the event. It was at Lakeside Park Raceway, north of Brisbane. And because it was our first track day, we had to enter the induction group. And that's really just so we had a chance to learn how it all works. Mental preparation was probably the hardest, like it is with anything we're about to try for the first time. I really wanted to be calm and focused on the day, which is a mantra that I always ride with. So to avoid feeling nerves, I watched a lot of YouTube videos of others riding around Lakeside. I was watching their dash to see what RPM and speed and gear selection they were doing, the reference points they were using, and the lines that they were taking. Also how the track looked and just how their bike was moving through all of that. Now that made a big difference for me, at least. So did the process of setting goals for the day, mostly about what I wanted to learn. And I really tried hard to leave my ego at home. Had to organise a leather suit, and another riding buddy, Astrid, offered me hers to borrow. Thank you, Astrid. Out of curiosity though, I started looking for one to buy if I liked the track day and I wanted to do it more. It was next to impossible to find one in my size actually, and when I saw one with 50% off to boot, I just bit the bullet and I bought it. Has got pink on it, you would have already noticed that, but that will be changed to red as soon as possible. I am not a fan of pink. Then the mechanical preparation for this track day was basically just downloading the scrutineering form and going over my bike, Bo, to tick it all off and work out what I needed to take with me. I also did a basic clean and lube and fluid check, of course. Then it got even easier. The mechanic for Bo and Alethea's bike is Brett. He's from Moto Garage. And when he heard that Alethea and I were doing this track day, he said to come join his crew. And he had a bay set up waiting for us when we got there, which was tremendous. I rode to the track. It's about 45 minutes away from where I live, and I took everything that I could fit into a backpack. Alethea also rode too. She lives just a few minutes away from the track, but we pretty much both had to set our bikes up when we got there. And that was, taping up mirrors and lights and setting tyre pressures. Our mechanic, by the way, suggested 30 psi front and rear for us. And that really seemed to work great based at least on the way the tyres were wearing throughout the day. But my traction control light came on in a few corners fairly consistently. And one reason could be that I might need to drop the rear tyre pressure a little bit more, but that's for future experiments. Alethea and I and our other SuperSport buddies don't have the same bike because we're friends. We're all friends because we have the same bike. That's another story. But it was fantastic to have a track buddy with the same bike to, compare experience with throughout the day. And Alethea was a great track buddy in all the ways that matter. So we were in the induction group, and that's because it was our first track day, and we had 2 coaches with us all day, Liam and Joel, and they were brilliant in guiding our group to learn the track, gave us lots of personal attention too to help us fine-tune our own lines around the track, and debriefing afterwards. Our first session was slow and steady, no passing was allowed. It was really just to go out there and see the track and start seeing what the lines were. When I got off the bike after that first session, I was blown away by how much fun this was going to be. My friend Valda caught that moment on video. Now, we had 5 sessions in total that day, and I think it's usually 6, but it was a very hot day, mid-30s I think, so I understand that they skipped one. Now, I could feel the heat having an effect on my focus during the 5th session, so I slowed down a lot, and my GoPro didn't capture all the sessions for the same reason. It just didn't like the heat at all either. After session 2, my tyres were melting all the way out to the edges. I know chicken strips aren't supposed to mean anything, at least for street riding, but I'm sure we all secretly want to get rid of them, hey? Mine were less than a centimetre on each side before the track day, but now they are gone. Now, I'm not going to pretend that that didn't mean something to me. My best session was session 4. It felt like I was staying higher in the rev range, between about probably 7.5 and 9,000 RPM, where the power really starts to peak. I reckon I was smoother through the corners as I was remembering more and more and recognising the reference points for tipping in and setting up my lines. And I was trying a bit more body position too, just to get a bit more speed through the corners. But figuring out how to move around on the bike was taking up what little bandwidth I had left, so that really needs heaps more practice. And for the first time ever, my boot toe scraped the track, but my knee sliders haven't touched down yet. So before I go any faster through those corners, I want to learn to get my body position right. I'm not sure how much more lean my SuperSport has that I can rely on, and I am not prepared to find that out. As it always seems to go, I have no evidence of how well my 4th session went because I have no footage of it. I just forgot to start the GoPro, but very likely it would have overheated for most of that anyway and not worked. Session 3 has the best footage, and thankfully it started with one of the coaches giving me personal guidance to find the reference points, and I got nearly full 2 laps behind him, but here's just one of them. on my own again, and I really felt that difference it makes to know the lines and the reference points better. You can probably tell I could be a lot more consistent in following those lines and smoother and more confident with speed through the double apex, particularly the one at the top of the straight. And they will get faster once I'm more confident and skilled, but with balancing body position with lean angle. Much more active body position is my next priority, without a doubt. I could also be on full throttle more often on the straight and stretches between the corners. And coming into and out of the corner leading into the straight with more speed, that will help along the main straight too, I think. I'd like to brake a little bit harder and later into that right-hander at the top of the straight. Also, I did not use the SuperSport's quick shifter at all because I don't trust it, particularly downshifting to second. I've had a few false neutrals with this model of the quick shifter, and that would be very scary, heading into a corner at just under 100 kilometres per hour and then suddenly being in neutral. I think once the bandwidth in my concentration on lines and reference points clears a bit, I'll start adding rev matching into my manual downshifts. I just enjoy every part of operating a motorcycle, so to me that's more fun. But I was over the moon with how the day turned out and how much I felt myself improving over those first 4 sessions. It was fun watching Alethea improving as quickly as she did as well. I think we were both surprised at what we could do and in awe really of how our SuperSports handled everything, except for the heat maybe. But this day was possibly the best fun I've ever had. So thank you, Alethea, for doing this track day with me. Thank you, Valda and Astrid and Scotty for dropping in, for your wonderful support. Thank you, Liam and Joel, for the brilliant coaching. And thank you, Lakeside Park, for an incredibly well run and smooth event. I cannot wait to go back.